You're watching Let the Quran Speak. Now we answer questions we've received from you, our viewers. And if you have a question yourself, please visit our website, www.quranspeaks.com. Okay, Brother Shabir, the first question we have is the question about how Islam was spread. And the individual is saying that Islam was not just spread by word of mouth, it was also spread by use of violence to conquer individuals and to conquer peoples. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, there's a great deal of misunderstanding of this issue both by non-Muslims and by some Muslims. It is true that to a certain extent the Islamic Empire was expanded after the death of the Prophet, peace be upon him, by some of the early caliphs to include vast stretches of land. But it is not true to think of Islam as a religion that was spread by the sword, in the sense that anyone was forced to convert at the point of a sword. Usually the territories were annexed to existing empires in the ancient world, and that was done by both Muslims and non-Muslims. At the time when Islam emerged, you had the Byzantine Empire, the Sasanian Empire, and each was competing with each other for territory. When the Muslims emerged as a polity, they had to either expand or die, because the other empires would simply annex them instead of allowing them to expand and grow. So they naturally pursued a similar program of expansion as the other empires were pursuing. But then,
when the empire is expanded, did the individuals who had come under this new rule, was there more of an incentive for them to join the religion of the empire?
Naturally, citizens would find it more convenient in any empire to follow, if there is a state religion, to follow that religion. And in the ancient world, the states usually came together with a religion. When we think of Roman Catholicism, for example, it became Roman Catholicism because it was, in a way, very closely aligned to the powers of Rome. In a similar way, we find that the Muslim polity was in fact closely aligned to the religion of Islam, to the extent of being almost virtually indistinguishable. So one thought of this polity, it was the Muslim religion that somehow is manifested here. But it is necessary in our thinking about the historical situation to separate the two, and to think of the religious teachings of Islam as being independent of the state that carries it as a vehicle. So people naturally found it convenient to be Muslim in a Muslim empire, but non-Muslims were allowed to live as protected minorities, and in fact it was the responsibility. So
were there cases where non-Muslims were living as minorities and retaining their faith?
Yes. Okay. In fact, many point to the situation of Jews, for example, in Muslim Spain, when, as David Bamberger explains in his book Judaism and the World's Religions, Jews enjoyed their golden years during that period. Because they were protected minorities, and whereas they might have been persecuted elsewhere under rule of some other religions, under Islam they found it was convenient to live. Many of their rights were maintained. Of course, the idea of giving rights to minorities in our day is far advanced beyond what people would have conceived of in the Middle Ages. But the principles of the Islamic faith were such that even in those days, Muslims gave ample protection and validated the rights of minorities, even of Jews in that time.
So you think that it doesn't make sense then to say that Islam was spread by the sword?
No, it doesn't make sense to say that, because you can say that about Christianity. You can say that the Christian empire expanded by the might of Rome, and this is physical power from the point of a state, whether you're talking about the use of a sword or a cannon or whatever firepower people had. So empires expanded, and the religion that was carried in that vehicle expanded along with it. People found it convenient, naturally, to be part of the religion that is known to be the state religion. But that if people still have the freedom either to convert or not to convert, or to retain their religion as they are. Now, Islam as it is involves many practices and obligations. It has many restrictions. So it is not by itself an attractive thing to just simply conveniently become a Muslim. One has to be convinced by the basic presuppositions of the faith in order to say, okay, I'm going to do all of these things because I'm so convinced. Basically, one has to be convinced that there is no God but God, and that Muhammad is the messenger of God. And when one is convinced of that, one says, okay, I'm going to surrender myself to this faith, and I'm going to do all of its dictates. I'm going to stay away from all of its prohibitions because I'm so convinced that there is only one God and that Muhammad is his messenger. Otherwise, without that conviction, one would rather choose to remain as some other faith, in which case one can enjoy some of the things that people enjoy and Muslims do not enjoy because they're prescribed in the religion.
All right, that's all the time we have, actually. We couldn't get to other questions. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
And we'd like to hear from you. For updates and additional information, please visit our website, www.quranspeaks.com, and write to us because your comments and questions help guide the show. I'm Safiya Ali. For all of us here at Let the Quran Speak, thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.